It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Roosters Brewery's first world problems. This is a salted caramel stout coming in at 4.5% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. Available in Sainsbury's. I picked this up this morning in Sainsbury's. Looking forward to getting into this. It's a CEBA assured British independent craft brewery. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I can see here, this is a relatively new beer into Sainsbury's stores. Part of their dipping their toe into the £3 440ml craft beer market. So there's a look at the beer. Two-finger tan coloured head, jet black beer in the glass. Look at that, it looks absolutely wonderful. No light bleeding through there whatsoever. Roosters Brewery. Well, Roosters, it's a company that is kind of on my radar. A brewing company that was always, when they first kind of came out, they were always thought of in real high regard. I'm going to bring up a really old beer tuber now, probably the original UK beer tuber. His name was Zach Avery, and I remember Zach doing the... I used to watch a lot of Zach Avery's videos. He was the guy that gave me a lot of inspiration into becoming a beer tuber myself. And I remember watching his Roosters Baby-Faced Assassin video, and he was just saying how great this beer was. So they've always kind of like been there on my radar. Of course then, Roosters, over the last 10 years or so, they made their way into British supermarkets across the UK. In and out. Even the Baby-Faced Assassin, which I thought, I'm never going to have a chance of drinking this beer in my life. Because it was difficult back then to get beer from 10 years ago. It was difficult to get Yorkshire beer down here in Barry. And a lot of it wasn't online. You had to like be in that region, be in that area. So to go to my Barry Morrison's and see a can of Baby-Faced Assassin was really cool. It was a really cool experience. So I've always held this brewery in high regard. The beers that I have tried from them, they've been really good. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one. As soon as I seen Roosters in Sainsbury's, I thought, bang, I'm having that. £3 a can. Fantastic. So yeah, jet black beer in the glass, 1 to 2 finger tan coloured head, good levels of carbonation. Let's get the aroma on the beer then. Touch lactosey, touch oaty, salted caramel stout. It's very difficult to smell salt, but you certainly get a little bit of sweetness from the caramel. Mixed in that little touch of sweet caramel in there with the chocolate, the coffee, the bitter flavours from the roasted malt. It smells fantastic. I've got to get into this one. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, good beer. In fact, I was going to have another taste. I was ready to get back into it, but I'm going to put that down and say, Stone the Crows. What a fantastic beer. Oh, it makes me rub my hands together. Chocolate, coffee, caramel flavours come rolling through. The roasted malt in the beer is really giving lots of flavours of chocolate and coffee and caramel. Bitter dark chocolate. A little bit of sweet caramel. Oh, it's beautiful. And some definite kind of definitely a coffee flavour coming through. A bitter mocha or something like that. It's lovely. And it's got a nice hop character coming through as well. And it's charged with a nice bitterness on the back end. So it all comes together. A little bit of sweetness from that caramel, bitterness on the back end. And the roasted malt and the hops in the beer. Something to get excited about. So Sainsbury's, they've dipped their toe into this craft beer world. The 440ml can, the £3 a can market, and they've done it. I think they've done it how I would do it. If I was in charge of a major supermarket, I would go find me a good IPA, find me a good stout, see if they can package it in a 440ml can, stick it on the shelves, see how it goes. Let's have a small run. It's exactly the same as how Tesco did it, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago now, where they put the Vocation Waffle Breakfast Blueberry Stout version 1. If some of you remember that version 1 beer, if you remember that hitting Tesco's initially, there was a couple of other beers. I think the other one was Vocation. It was either Life and Death or Love and Hate. I always get them mixed up. Either Life and Death or Love and Hate. It was the orange lettered black background can. So it was a couple of Vocation beers that hit Tesco's, and they did really well. They did that well that Tesco decided to roll out a big range of craft beer, 440ml can craft beer. 2 or 3 years later, they got half an aisle full. In my local big Tesco, they got half an aisle full of canned craft beer. It's really quite a magnificent thing to see. So the reason why I'm so excited about this Sainsbury's journey is that I've just reviewed the Alpaca double dry hopped IPA, and I thought it was magnificent. And I'm currently reviewing the Roosters Brewing First World Problems Salted Caramel Stout, and I also think for the price, for the money, for that £3, it's a magnificent beer. It's going to generate excitement. It's going to get people out there. It's going to get them to buy the beer, and it'll probably push Sainsbury's into making that decision, that final decision with their marketing team, with their kind of buy-in team to go, right, let's put a small beer team together, maybe 1 or 2 people, let them go out, get a load of beer sourced, put it in 440ml cans, and let's challenge the likes of Tesco's and Morrison's. Because let's not forget, Tesco led the way, Morrison's followed a year or 2 later. Now it's the turn of Sainsbury's. It's going to force the hand of Asda. Asda are going to want to get involved, I imagine, in some capacity. Probably lowered in price. I think Asda would go with a £2.50 440ml can. And then you've got the likes of Lidl and Aldi. They're their own kind of world over there. I'm not laughing at them. Some of the beer's been terrific. Some of it's been terrific. But they're over there in their own little kind of way, doing things differently. They can somehow produce, like, I had a world-beating New England IPA from Aldi, and it was like £1. It was like between £1.50 and £2 a can. A New England IPA. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe the price of this beer. So lots of interest. Why am I so excited then? Because it's keeping the momentum going of the craft beer industry. When I got involved in it 10 years ago, there was a lot of regional breweries still dominating the beer aisles. So good. The beer that I got really interested in was mainly online, and it was from people who were sending me beer. over the last 10 years. And it's nice to finally see it's almost like the banks have broken on the river. And now the banks have broken, it's like, it's just opening out. And then my prediction, the next stage of this whole kind of evolution of craft beer is the fact that we're going to start seeing big advertising on the television. I think one of these supermarkets now, they're going to want to take the lead. They're going to want to really stake their claim in the craft beer world. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Tesco, because they initially decided to kind of jump into this craft beer scene in a big way. I wouldn't be surprised to see them pump a big advert out on the television. And I think that would be it then. I think once it starts hitting television advertising, Joe Public, if you are Joe Public, I don't mean any offence to you whatsoever. And it just means more and more people are drinking good beer. And that's the very reason why I got into this whole thing in the first place. To get good beer out there into the hands of ordinary people. That was my kind of, to review as many beers as possible. Watch my first video, you can see I had a long skinny neck back then. I started this channel, I used to say, to promote the beers and get the beers out there, get people drinking better beer, better quality beer. That was my mission statement. And I hope you've come along on that journey with me. So we're going to rate this now. First World Problem Salted Caramel Stout by Roosters Brewing Company. A lovely, drinkable, refreshing, but albeit roasty, toasty, slightly oaty, medium mouthfeel stout. Chocolate, coffee, caramel flavours come through. It's a little bit of kind of touch of vinous quality from the hops, not too much, and I'm happy about that lately. I'm happier that there's more malt flavours coming through in this stout than there are hoppy vinous flavours on the back end. Not too much. Oh, there we are. Here's the description. A deliciously complex, smooth and decadent stout brewed with the addition of salted caramel, bold and indulgent, a luxurious combination of chocolate, sweet caramel and a touch of salt intertwined with roasted malt characteristics. Not suitable for vegans because it contains lactose. Oh, there we go. That's a bit of a shame. Maybe they could have used oats. I actually used the word oats in the beer thinking it was oats. But there we go. Roosters Brewing Company, First World Problems. I think it's fabulous. I think it's a fabulous beer. For me, that's a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.